Hello everyone and welcome to a new Poppy Playtime theory video, and today's video is not going to be a absolute in-depth dive video. It's probably more of a speculation rather than a theory. It's just that today we're going to be talking about Poppy Playtime, of course, and some of the recent images that mob games have been sharing to boost our excitement and hype for Chapter 2. And of course, as a YouTuber and someone who really enjoys Poppy Playtime, I really want to go over the images and see if we can chat about what they are including, what they represent, and what it could be leading and hinting towards. And of course, before we get into the video, I wouldn't be a YouTuber if I didn't ask you to hit like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Make sure to hit like at the end of the video if you enjoyed it, and if you like Poppy Playtime content and more of it that's coming, make sure you hit subscribe so you stay notified of when I upload any more videos and theories. But with the shameless self-promotion out the way, let's get actually into it. So, for those that don't know, Mob Games has, in the last few days, been posting teasers about Chapter 2, and the main teaser is an illustration, I'll say, rather than a poster or a photo. An illustration of the game station, the one that we've been hinted at in the Steam page, and this is where the train lies, and the base of the level is where it begins, basically. And of course, this is going to be a huge part of Chapter 2, as it even states again in the Steam page, explore one of Playtime Co.'s most popular locations, the game station, and of course underneath it is the train and the platform that we see in the illustration. This station is more than just a pit stop. There's games, a playground, and much more. Even better, the train provides a straight shot out of the factory. And what I find really interesting is actually the illustration already with just the three pieces is giving us kind of a good bit of information to go off of how it used to run originally. So let's talk about the first image. So the first image was shown to us on the 25th of April, and it included a ripped part of the illustration, which was leaning towards more of the left hand side of the page. And of course the page includes a signature at the bottom left of the illustration, the train. And of course, on the train, we actually see a resemblance to the Maker Friend machines. So again, it gives us a sort of indication of actually how old this illustration could well be, which again, I'll talk about a little bit later. But again, you see all the children lined up playing with it and whatnot. And you can see in the top left-hand corner, there's just a black bar. I believe actually that's a big light and just the housing of the said light. And obviously, as you can see, the train is puffing out smoke, acting like and simulating that it's, you know, working and everything in between. So there's nothing really unique about this image apart from the fact, a little bit of hype. You can spend all day inverting it and changing around some of the settings in Photoshop, but us humans are quite flawed in that regard because we want to see patterns wherever we look. So it's really hard to really get any fundamental evidence out of this image. But the one thing that is interesting is the signature at the bottom left. Now, it's written in old cursive, and I have, for the life of me, since it came out originally, been trying to figure out what it's actually spelling out, and I don't know cursive very well, and all I can really get from it is J-O. I mean, in some cases, it even looks like a W, when actually a W would play out quite well, because then it could actually spell out Whitney. But we know the second name is a Millie, or a Millet, or close to that anyway. Again, you could shape these signatures left, right, and center. It's actually quite hard to really get a grasp of what it is. It's like they've purposely left it open to interpretation just a little bit. Not enough that it's solid evidence, but just enough that you can really try and look into it even further. And then we got the second image, which was posted on the 26th of April at 6 o'clock. And as you can see, it includes a middle section of the original illustration that's been ripped out in a sort of triangle shape, and it matches up to the other illustration, and it all comes together. And in this one, it's actually very interesting because we see a sort of inspector or spying booth, if you will, and underneath that booth is full of security cameras. And I already assumed at that point they were basically researchers and scientists that were talked about in Chapter 1. And of course, we can also see one of the scientists walking upstairs. Now, what's interesting to me from this, I automatically assumed this was going to be a way to sort of demonstrate the fact that the scientists were just monitoring the children, watch what they interacted with, basically like a big market sort of research for all their toys and what works and what doesn't, what colors work, how they play, which way they go, interactions, and all that jazz, but it was basically an insight to that. And again, we get more of the level, and it does coincide with what we've been teased in the trailers and what we see on the Steam page. And obviously, for the most keen-eyed viewers, you can actually notice there is a somewhat attraction in the middle of it called Musical Memory, and it looks like actually there are steps going down into that area. As we can see, there are a few children sort of floating torsos going down. And then we come to today's image, which is the 27th of April at 5:30, and they've posted this image. Now, again, this solidifies our idea about the whole scientists are just watching for marketing and development researches and for purpose, basically. And they just keep an eye on how the children engage and what they play on. And obviously you see a little bit more of the train track and whatnot. But the only thing that really gets me going about this is, again, the researchers, but then also, again, another signature in the top right. Now, this is where I get to theorize and speculate a little bit. So the signature itself says, or what I can assume says, again, it's cursive, so it's a nightmare. It says Madeline. Now, of course, that's not going to be absolute. There could be anything at this point. We just don't know. And I'm not even going to take a gander at the second one. But what's interesting is not the names. It's what they represent. And what I mean is that I actually theorize that these names that we see on this illustration are people relevant and important to the research and development. And I think this is a massive speculation on my part, but I think there's a massive hint here that these names aren't just scribbles or artist signature, for instance. I think these names play a larger role in that. As I said earlier, I think these names specifically may be the lead development of this research, and I think these are the names of the characters and the enemies that we're going to see in chapter 2. Now, for me, I'd like to theorize that these are the names of Mommy Longlegs and Kissy Missy, or a character that we haven't actually been introduced to yet. But I believe these names are a lot more important than we do initially think. Now, interestingly enough, if there is a 4th, 5th, or 6th picture, I think in the end, or at some point, we're actually going to get a release date at the bottom right of the illustration. And I say that because I believe this illustration, hence why I'm saying illustration rather than a photo or just a piece of artwork, I theorize that this was designed as a somewhat poster for the introduction to the game station. And of course, like most introductions, it needs a release date, and I believe that it's going to be a little bit of a double whammy. I think they're actually going to show us the release date for Poppy Playtime Chapter 2, but also play into the in-world release date for the game station. So again, once we see that last bit of information and last piece of the puzzle, I think we'll finally get our answer. Or it could just be the artist names that worked on the image. Oh boy, I hope not. But more importantly, what could they be hiding? Because again, it's a big piece of illustration to be missing. And obviously from the last 3 pieces of the illustration, they're actually quite big, they're not small. So I wonder specifically what's been took away or hidden on purpose, or if we even will get one. But again, I find it quite an interesting thought. I'll be interested to see what will come out in the future, and obviously until there is any like major update with any of the information that becomes blatantly obvious that needs a video, I won't touch upon the released images again. Of course, I'll do it on Twitter and on YouTube community, so again, follow me there if you're interested. But I don't think it will be a solid video. I think this video will be enough to reference, because again, I think we spoke about everything we need to speak about. But with that being said, everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. Sorry it's very short and unscripted, but again, I was interested, I was excited, and I do think this is going to give us a good indication of what's going on. But with that being said, everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to hit like and subscribe, because of course we're going to be doing lots and lots and lots of Poppy content coming in the future. So if you want to stick around for that, please, it would help me out a great deal and help the channel out. As you can see, we're a growing channel. Every subscription is greatly appreciated. But with that being said, have a lovely morning, day or night wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next Poppy Playtime Theory video.